I'm going to test the AEM-7 and its consist on Trainz 2012 and Trainz Simulator 2015 to see which one is better. If you're not familiar with my rating system, I add 5 points for everything that's realistic, I take away 3 points for everything that isn't, or anything that doesn't exist, or something that wouldn't have happened in real life, and I add 2.5 pounds if there's some way you can modify something that's not realistic to make it sound more realistic. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen so far. I'm adding 5 points because the ditch lights work and they flash, and I'm going to add 5 more points because it has a very authentic sounding bell. So 10 points in total so far. The horn sounds really good, it sounds realistic, and it's fantastically looped, so I'm gonna give it 5 more points for that. Though I really think it deserves more. Just like the Acela Express, the locomotive can't tell the difference between the pantograph being raised or lowered, and even when it's lowered, the motors are still running, so negative 3 points. However, it raises the correct pantograph, and the pantograph does not affect the doors in any way on the passenger cars, so 5 more points. It comes with an authentic sound effect, so 5 more points. The bogies do not sound realistic, but you can modify them to make them sound more realistic, so 2.5 points. The sound of it going over a junction is not realistic, and you cannot modify that in any way. The junction sounds are the only sounds in this game that cannot be modified, so negative 3 points for the lack of realistic junction sounds. The locomotive comes with assigned numbers, and the numbers can be changed, so 5 more points for that. Oh yeah, this locomotive has an extra feature that's going to earn it 10 more points. Let me show you. Yep, the junction sounds are not realistic. Anyway, I'm not sure if you could hear me, but because the strobe lamps work and they do flash, I'm going to add 10 points to this locomotive instead of the usual 5. Because this is a special feature that a lot of locomotives lack in these games. But this one has it, so it deserves extra points for that. Okay, let's go inside and check out the cab. We have a huge problem here. The cab is not real. This is not an AEM-7 cab. This is actually a cab from a locomotive that's not even American, so I don't mean to sound mean or anything, but I am subtracting 100 points for this. Why? Because I cannot grade a cab that isn't there. I can try to, though. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on the speedometer and you tell me what you see. Yep, you guessed it. It says kilometers per hour. Negative 3 points. That's not really the creator's fault, though. That's the fault. The cab actually comes that way, and this is not an AEM-7 cab to begin with. Though one wonders why he didn't just give it an American cab though. It has a working horn. You can use the reverser, the throttle, and the brake, and the independent brake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 points for the levers that work. I'm subtracting 3 points for the lack of bell because, as we all know, foreign trains do not have bells. Also, I can't even find the pantograph button up here. So, I might have to subtract 3 points for the lack of pantograph. Button. But I'm gonna add 5 points for this parking brake lever working. The thing is, I'm not sure if the AEM-7 has a parking brake. Okay. These 4 levers work, so I'm going to add 20 more pounds. I mean points. I don't know why I keep getting those words mixed up. Anyway, the windshield wiper switch and lever for that, and the windshield wipers themselves do not work, so -3 points for that. Okay, I think I tested pretty much all I can test, so I guess it's time to go inside the passenger cars. Okay, slight problem. You cannot go inside the passenger cars in this locomotive. This specific passenger car. It does not have an interior that lets you go inside it. You can, however, move the camera like this to go inside it, but that's not really the same thing. So I'm subtracting 3 points for the lack of interior you can go inside. If you played this game, then you would understand why I don't add points for the fact that you can actually go inside it at all. Because if the train goes around a curve while you have the camera like this, the camera is basically going to go outside the train because the camera is centered to the rear of the first locomotive. So it doesn't really count as being able to go inside it. Also, the textures are very detailed for the locomotive and the passenger cars, so I'm adding 10 more points. The passenger cars do not glow in the dark, so I'm going to subtract 3 points. I would subtract 3 points for the lack of a destination sign, but I'm not really sure if Amfleet cars have destination signs, so I'll leave that as is for now. However, this does not change at all, so I'm going to subtract 3 points for that because it's not interactive. Also, you cannot put passengers inside this train, so -3 points again. There are other Amtrak cars that you can put passengers in on this game, but those are the Horizon cars. Cars that are not regularly pulled by AEM-7s. Okay, I think I've tested pretty much all I can test about these passenger cars. Oh wait, I almost forgot, it has working tail lights. So I'm going to add 5 more points. Okay, I'm gonna see how many points it has so far. Okay, the AEM-7 in this game has a total of 152.5 points. It's actually a very high score for this specific game because it's higher than the Acela Express score. But let's see if the Train Simulator 2015 Amtrak AEM-7 can surpass this.